Well, last week, I want to let you know my guest at the fair was Republican House Minority Leader Lisa Damath. Now, my guest today is, I'll tell you a little background. If Minnesota Governor Tim Walz becomes vice president, Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan will become Minnesota's first female governor. And Peggy Flanagan is right here. Warm applause.
Good morning.
And I also want to say the second gentleman of Minnesota is right there. Wave, second gentleman. And who knows, he might soon become the first gentleman of Minnesota. And also you would become the first Native American woman in the U.S. history to become a governor.
Yeah, that's correct.
I mean, do you ever tire of those firsts? I mean, at some point we'll come to a time where it's not a first.
And I look forward to that time. You know, I think growing up, I had Geraldine Ferraro, right? And so my daughter, Deb Haaland is the Secretary of the Interior. Sharice Davids is in Congress. Her mom's a lieutenant governor, which she doesn't think that's that big of a deal and keeps me humble. But it really is, I think, an incredible moment where I think our democracy is stronger when people can see themselves reflected in positions of leadership. So if it's not me, she is shortly on her way.
All right. Let's talk about IVF and women's reproductive rights. Anybody who's followed you knows that you have long championed these issues. What's your thoughts about what former President Trump had to say?
I think he changes his position on access to abortion and IVF. You know, almost every day. And so I think what we have to do, especially as women voters, is pay attention to his actions. Unfortunately, we lost the right to access abortion across this country because of the individuals that Donald Trump appointed to the Supreme Court. This has been the Trump abortion ban, where over 50% of women who live in this country no longer have access to reproductive health care. It's wrong. And I think women are onto him and are going to make the right decision in November and vote for someone who supports their reproductive rights.
Popular opinion here. I want to ask you about who is running the state of Minnesota right now.
So Governor Walz is still the governor, and in fact, he is here at the Minnesota State Fair. We're still very connected. We're in constant communication. He was just here on Monday. We did judicial appointments together. So the governor is still in charge. I'm picking up additional meetings here and there and events at the State Fair, which I gladly take on. But he knows his responsibility to Minnesota. He also knows his responsibility to this country as he's running for vice president. But Minnesotans should feel confident that you know, there's leadership in place.
And after covering the Walz administration for the past 6 years, I can say you're always there.
Yes.
I mean, you definitely are part of it. And that wasn't always the case with lieutenant governors. Certainly it was with Tina Smith when she was Governor Dayton's lieutenant governor. But you are certainly there, folks. Let me ask you about possibly becoming governor. Are you ready for that?
Well, I think the #1 job of lieutenant governors and seconds in command is to be ready. And I'm ready. But I also know that there's an incredible amount of work that has to happen between now and Election Day. We have 65 days to ensure that we're turning the vote out across the country. I take that really seriously, and I'll do everything that I can to make sure that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are elected and that we keep the Minnesota House here in Minnesota in DFL hands. But I also just know that this is a really exciting moment when there's so much focus on Minnesota and the good work that we've been able to do together. Yep. We raise good vice presidents here in the great state of Minnesota.
Well, let me ask you this. Will you run in 2026 for governor if you are in fact governor?
I think that is getting way over my skis. I'll tell you this.
Not so much.
Well, there's a lot of things that have to happen. But if the people of Minnesota want me to continue to be in a leadership position, I would be honored to do that work.
Okay. All right, let's talk about reading and testing scores. I know that you have a beautiful 11-year-old daughter, and there are a lot of kids out here in the audience today. A lot of parents are really just horrified about the test scores that continue to be half of Minnesota kids are at reading grade level, half are at math level. What do you think, as a mom and also as Lieutenant Governor, can be done to try and turn this around?
Sure. So the good news is, those test scores are before we put an incredible amount of resources into reading, $57 million into the READ Act to make sure that we're training teachers in evidence-based practices. So that will go into effect this upcoming year, and I'm excited about what is possible there. I think the good news is attendance is up. And as we are beginning this school year, I just want to send that message to all the kiddos, all the parents. Kids have to be in school, right? When they are in the classroom, they are learning, and that has to be a top priority. But I care tremendously about this, of course, as Lieutenant Governor, but also as Siobhan's mom, and will do everything I can. We have been putting a lot of resources into public education, but we've got more to do, and we've got more to do to also support kids and families. That's why now we've got both breakfast and lunch available for kids at school. That matters, and I think attendance goes up. Sick days go down. It's hard to study for your math test when you've got an empty belly. So I think all those things work together, and we're going to see those test scores go up.
All right. Well, one reason that was possible, having breakfast and lunch go through the legislature, is that you had the trifecta. You still have the trifecta, but in November, the trifecta is up for a vote because the entire Minnesota House is up for a vote. And Republicans are working hard. They think that they can turn this around. And they're looking at the very policies that you passed in 2023, like the free lunch policy, and saying, taxpayers don't want this. It's too expensive. What do you think is going to happen, and what are Democrats doing about the House races in November?
So we're working really hard across the state. I think those programs are actually overwhelmingly popular with folks. Feeding kids, I'm always going to stand by it. I think it's the right thing to do. Also, the largest tax cut for middle-class families in the history of the state happened under this DFL trifecta and Tim Walz. And I just want to name that, we know how to win. You go door to door, you call people, you're in community. And I have to tell you, ever since Kamala Harris was named at the top of the ticket, the energy is incredible. I was at a door knock in Rochester on Wednesday at 2:30 in the afternoon with 50 people.
Wow.
That's incredible. So I think the energy is amazing. I feel confident, but we're going to have to work for every single vote.
All right. Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, thank you so much for taking the time to come by here. You have a lot of fans in the audience, I can see.